Hey guys, welcome to the Smolder Champion Spotlight. I have actually seen this character in game, but I have no idea what he does. I've seen him like in 3 or 4 games. I know he has like some sort of a bubble, he flies, and he has like some sort of a fire wave. That's all I remember, but I don't actually know what these abilities do, so let's check it out.
Long ago, before the Ruination ended their line, the royal family of Camivore revered Imperial dragons as powerful and majestic creatures. So as one of the few Imperial dragons still alive today, Smolder is kind of a big deal. Or he will be, at least, as soon as he masters flying, and breathing fire, and being big, and scary. You know, dragon stuff.
Sizzle.
The fiery fledgling is an ADC who's all about scaling. He may seem like a tiny spark at first, but he can grow into a late-game inferno.
That was mid.
So,
I've seen him
you ready
mid.
to play with fire? Welcome to the Smolder Champion Spotlight.
Go Smolder! Go Smolder!
I've seen him mid. I didn't know he was an ADC. Okay, well let's.
Smolder's
let's
passive is Dragon Practice. Whenever he hits a
No, I've
champion with an
seen ADC
ability
as well.
or kills a target with Q, he learns a bit more about dragoning and gains a stack. Each stack increases the damage of his basic abilities, making them extra spicy as he gets more practice.
Makes sense.
This means Smolder gets stronger and stronger as the game goes on, so let him cook. Q is Smolder's Super Scorcher Breath. He spits the biggest, awesomest fireball he can muster at his target. Okay, so maybe it's not that impressive yet, but you just wait.
You started it!
As
I had no
Smolder
idea
gains
his
more stacks
abilities
of his
were
passive,
evolving,
he
though.
enhances Super Scorcher Breath in 3 tiers. At tier 1, it deals AoE damage around the target. At tier 2, more explosions shoot off behind the initial fireball. And at tier 3, the flame burns targets for additional true damage over a few seconds. If they
Oh.
drop below a certain health threshold in that time,
Nice.
they're toast. Don't forget that Smolder gains stacks whenever he hits enemy champs with abilities or kills a unit with Q. Focus on last hitting and poking opponents with Q so he reaches those stack
Good
tiers as
damage on
quickly
minions
as
as
possible.
well, though.
By the time late game rolls around, he'll be a teamfight terror with tons of AoE
Yeah, a
damage.
bit like Nasus,
Breathing
for
fire
example,
isn't
right?
without its challenges though, like all that soot in your nose. With W, Smolder sneezes out a fiery glob. This blast damages and briefly slows targets and explodes around any champions in the line of fire. And you thought your allergies were bad. During laning phase, a Chew is a crucial farming tool for Smolder.
Freak,
He can use it
and
to
his
soften up
buns.
a wave, then last hit with Q for all the stacks. In
Humor,
team
sorry.
fights, it's a powerful AoE spell. Hitting multiple champions sets off explosions around each one, which scale with his passive and ability rank. That late game damage is nothing to sneeze at. Don't you
there's
just
one.
love his little wings? Well, they aren't just for princely charm. Smolder's E,
Flying.
flap, 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 sends him into the air for a short duration where he ignores terrain and gains move speed and vision. He'll bombard the closest enemy in range with bursts of flame,
They're like
prioritizing the
Aatrox,
lowest
right?
health champion. Smolder's E can help him catch fleeing enemies and secure kills,
Yeah, that's very
but it's
Aatrox.
also his only escape tool. So fly with caution, or you may crash and burn.
What did I do?
Behind every adorable baby dragon is a super protective mama dragon.
Oh, that's his
Smolder's
ultimate?
ult summons
Okay,
Mom to teach a lesson to any meanies picking on her son. A face-melting, scorched earth kind of lesson.
A lot of AoE.
After casting,
Yeah.
Smolder's mom flies overhead, breathing down a wave
has a
of
lot
fire
of
and
AoE,
burning
actually.
enemies to a crisp. Targets caught in the center take extra damage and are slowed. The wave starts a little bit behind Smolder's position and continues over a long distance. Anyone
Oh,
who might be
wow.
hit by the flames will hear Mom's roar as a warning, so best run for cover if you can. Nothing burns quite like a
Sounds
mother's
good,
love.
gotcha.
While the spell can help Smolder disengage if he's in a bad spot, his mom is best at starting fights. Especially if the enemy team is grouped up. Slow them down with the center of Smolder's ult, then go full blast with the rest of his AoE.
Yeah,
damage.
makes sense. Makes sense.
Smolder's dragon practice stacks are the fuel for turning this glowing ember into a roaring blaze. He needs to farm safely in the early game to stack his passive and improve his
Again,
Q before
it's
he's
kinda
ready
like
to
a
take on the
ranged
world.
Nasus, basically.
That means he'll need a more lane dominant support looking out for him while he grows big and strong. Champions who can zone opponents off will make great lane partners for this Widow kiddo. On the other hand, he may struggle against lane bullies who can force him to retreat and lose out on stats. Without much dragon practice, his ability to trade is limited, so
Feast
enemies
for
with
famine
lots of
kinda
poke
champion.
and engage tools are blistering counterpicks against Smolder.
Finished.
Where he really burns
Morgana
brightest is
CC,
team fighting.
8 seconds.
Thanks to his powerful AoE damage, roasting grouped up enemies is his specialty.
Yeah, that's
but
it.
like
A
most
lot of AoE.
ADCs, he needs to position wisely to stay safe. Fly in solo and you might just fizzle out.
Yeah, no HP.
Smolder is designed to be a simpler marksman with an approachable kit. So if you've been looking for a reason to
real?
learn ADC, who burns hotter than ADC, consider this a warm invitation to try the fiery fledgling. Likewise, if you enjoy marksmen with their own escape tools like Ezreal or Zeri, or adorable forces of destruction like Tristana and Kog'Maw, you may want to take Smolder for a test flight. And of course, if you love getting stacks on stacks on stacks, looking at you, Vagar and
well,
Nasus
you know,
fans,
Vagar's
then
high
the
on there, you go
scaling damage should be
Nasus.
just what you're looking for.
But especially
Is it
Nasus.
toasty in here or
It's
just
cute.
me? I gotta go cool off. Learn how to train your dragon at the links below. And bring the heat with
Get it.
Smolder, the fiery fledgling.
Train your dragon. Actually, I didn't know that his I didn't know a lot of things. Okay, so now I have a better understanding of the champion. So I thought he was mid. He's not. He's ADC. I didn't know he had like evolving abilities. That's pretty cool. Again, it's kind of like a more like, you know, 200-year Nasus, right? Nasus just has like a Q and that's it. Like the dragon has like everything else, you know, like he evolves all his abilities. And I was thinking maybe the abilities should also have like a different visual when they're evolved, but maybe not. Maybe that's for like visual what do you call that? Visual accuracy or something, so you don't get confused on his abilities. Maybe that's why they didn't change anything crazy. Like, you know, like make the fireball bigger, for example. They kept it the same, so like you don't get too confused, you know. And no, it's not like difficult to view when you're playing the game. I have my only problem with this champion. He looks pretty cool. My actually his abilities look pretty cool. The problem is that he looks, I don't know, like he doesn't like I'm comparing him to something like Shyvana's dragon form, and like they look nothing alike. This, I know he's a kid, and you know he's gonna like grow up eventually. He's gonna look a lot meaner, but he looks like very cute and friendly for a dragon. And it reminds me a lot of like Zoe, right? Which you put like Zoe compared to like all the other humans in the game, and they look very different. You got the normal League of Legends humans, and then you got like Disney Zoe, right? That's how I feel about like Smolder, like Disney Smolder, like Pixar Smolder or something. You know, just like very expressive, very very different looking from everything else, right? So that's my only problem. But again, I guess it grows on you, right? It's like he's not the only champ in the game that has that issue, right? Lucky told me about Yumi, and I didn't find Yumi looking weird when she came out. But then Lucky is like, "What about Yumi?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it makes sense because you have Yumi and you have Nidalee, right? Her cat form, and they look completely different. So if I didn't have a problem with Yumi, why would I have a problem with Smolder? Maybe because also the Drakes, the Drakes keep the same a similar look as Shyvana. I don't know. It's gonna grow on me for sure. You know, he's cute, he's whatever, right? So yeah, pretty interesting. Like a different kind of ADC. I really thought it was a mage. So a different kind of ADC for sure. Thank you for watching. Peace.